Welcome, everyone. A lovely Tuesday. Mm. Eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the prize. What's the prize? Anything you give yourself, you know, the value of. You say, this is worthy to me. It is valuable to me. That's the prize. Is the prize more knowledge? Is the prize more connection? What is the prize? It must always be in front of you. Why? Because your eyes are there. Your eyes are there. See, if you guys were there last night with Lance and I talking about Laban seeing spots, when Jacob was allowing the livestock to reproduce, he was told, Laban, his father in law, told him, you can have all the, the blemished ones, the spotted ones. So he decided to put the spots in front of the livestock. And that's what he got, more spotted livestock, but strong, not sickly or weak. So the key is keeping that prize before your eyes, day in and day out. And remember, the prize is what you give value to, that you want to attain. That could be knowledge, right? That could be education. That could be whatever it is you say you want to attain. You are, as Paul would say, striving towards the goal. But you notice towards is going forward. Your eyes are forward. And it is reinforcing for you that we don't languish. You do it, you follow through, you get it done. But eyes forward. Eyes. Where you put your eyes is where you're going to go. Where you put your eyes, that's where you will go. What has your attention is what you will be drawn towards. So, where are you putting your attention? Where are you putting your time? Where are you? Remember, Neville Goddard said to invest. Well, where are you investing your time? Where are you investing your energy? Where are you investing your conversations? Because that's where your eyes are, right? So today, practice always keeping the eyes forward. Practice your focus. Of course, you'll move away from it. But if that's where you say you want to be, then bring yourself back. You ever seen somebody at the gym and they're lifting heavy weights? They cannot be distracted or they're going to hurt themselves. So what should their mind be on? The weight they're lifting, the lunge that they're taking, the stretch that they're doing. It is important that your attention, your awareness then, your what now? Yes, your awareness. When you look and you say, oh, I'm doing this thing. You say, oh, I'm doing this. You're aware. You are aware. The minute you can put that name to it, you are aware of what you're doing. Awareness is not this woo-woo thing. Awareness is, do you know what you're doing? Do you know why you're doing it? Your awareness. So this is what causes you to keep your eyes on the prize. Again, from that Bible story, he was working for Rachel. He wanted to marry Rachel. That was his prize, the thing that was most valuable. But when he got the other sister, what sustained him so he would continue to work? The fact that he cared. And he kept his eyes on the prize. So the thing that you give value to is the thing you will work towards. Does that make sense? The thing you give value to is what you will work towards. This is why you don't just throw away your investment. of your attention and your time. You don't just throw those out there willy nilly. No, you are deliberate about those. Remember yesterday, being deliberate. The thing that has your focus, that has your attention, be deliberate about those things. Why? Because you will attain it. So you see, there's a purpose for things. When you invest your time and your efforts and your focus, your thoughts into something, choose that thing wisely. Because an investment always gives a return. So is that the dividend you would like? That's why you keep your eyes on the prize. It's not something that we just take for granted. Why not? Because you are of value. You are of value. You have value. I am valuable. To who? To you. The value that you place upon something, then it gets around other people, they will see the value based upon how you treat that thing. Oh, we think it's just with diamonds? We think it's just with pearls and rubies and gold and silver. No, it's with you. How you treat yourself, how you value yourself. That's the worth on the market. You can raise and lower that value. And this is why you are the prize. So you keep your eyes there, the inside. So when you say, look, I want to accomplish this thing, whatever that thing is, what should you be doing to accomplish it? How do you know you should be doing something? Because action is required. How do you know that action is required? The law of vibration tells us that everything moves, nothing stands still. Even though you may feel stuck, it just means you're repeating the same pattern over and over again. Thus, you appear to be stuck. But you are not stuck. Well, how do you get unstuck? By doing the actions of the unstuck. Hmm? Yes. If a particular behavior, um, always arguing, has you stuck, well, how do you get out of that? By recognizing when to be silent and when to speak. That's how you get out. You want to say, sure, do the opposite. But it is do the thing, do the action that confirms the direction you say you're going in. So you want to have more peace? Apply structure. Get a plan. Have specific action steps that you take. So even if you sit on the couch today and you say, oh, I'd love a loaf of bread, but I don't feel like baking it, and somebody brings you a loaf of bread, let's not be fooled. That bread was baked. It would not be bread if it was not baked, if someone did not do an action for you to get it. It may appear that you stayed still and the bread came to you, but you did not stay still. That bread was created. Somebody kneaded it and baked it. Action is always required. The type of action, that depends on the thing. The action won't be a mystery. The action corresponds with the thing. The law of correspondence, as within, so without. So when you keep your eyes on the prize, you are staying focused. You are taking your time to examine, okay, I want to accomplish this. So if you say you want to go back to school, how long is that program? How much does that program cost? What are the entry requirements? In order to accomplish something, you need to know what it entails. So research is required. Why? Because everything you put into it, all the research that you do, that is an investment. And you will have a return on your investment. So you keep your eyes on the prize. Do not allow yourself to be dissuaded. I think that's the word I want to use. Don't allow yourself to be talked out of it, especially when you know you want it. You know you want it, right? You want that thing. Your desire for that thing. This is why that Bible story was so fun. Rachel was beautiful. She he looked at her and he was caught up. He was he was smitten. He was rapt. RAPT. Raptured by her. So much so that when he got the other sister, he worked those other 7 years. He did not allow himself to deviate from his goal, from his purpose. Who gave him that purpose? He gave himself his purpose. So should you. How can I come along and give you a purpose when I don't know who you are and what you like? The thing that you're doing, the prize, must be of value to you, or else you will not stick with it. So it must hold value. So who's giving it value? You are giving the thing you want value. That's what you're doing. So you see how important it is for you to look upon something and give it value, deem it worthy? Because if it has value to you, you'll keep your eyes on the prize. You'll pursue it. You'll work it out. You'll make it happen. How will you make it happen? Well, a series of coincidences. People, places, things will line themselves up on the pathway that you say you're going. You notice I say coincidences. There are no coincidences, but that's what we call them. We call them coincidences because we don't see the connection between what we have done and its expression. So it just happened out of the blue. No, it didn't. You called it there. Let us take a quick moment to welcome everyone to the space. Twitter, I see y'all. Roo Roo. Oh, Yawny Nash. You can call me Dill. Well, hello, Dill. Welcome to the space. Meep, I see you too. See, one of us forgot to charge the phone for Twitter. So we're on 12%. Twitter? Somebody. I don't know who that would have been. Oh, and Benji. Hello, beautiful. Hello. So we got 12% on you, Twitter, today. I will do my best to keep my eye on that percentage so that I don't drop it. Yeah? But pop over to YouTube then. You know where I am. In my bio, that link is there to pop over to YouTube so I don't lose you guys because I don't want to do that. All right? This is what happens when you don't adhere to your bedtime for 2 nights in a row. Fan base, who's here? Smoking. KZ, Miss McQueen, Coco, Love, and Zola. Welcome to the space. It is so good to see you here, and thank you for the love. Soft as it. Anyway, Facebook, Indeed, and YouTube. Who's here? Master Glam. Hello. Sherelle, Asonia, Cyber, the better man, Enoch. Those are the ones who've made themselves known in the chat. For the replay gang and those who've not made themselves known, I see you. Thank you all for being here. It is truly appreciated. So remember, Twitter, pop over to YouTube. Remember, we keep our eyes on the prize. The prize is the thing you give value and worth to. This is the kind of power you have. When you give value and worth to something, you bring it to life. It has your attention. And without your attention, it cannot rise. My creation rise. It cannot rise. So you must put your attention there. So then it should be valuable to you. It should be worth something to you. It should be worth something to you. So, Twitter, I just got that 10% warning. I'm going to close you guys. I feel horrid for doing it. I can't even add a destination here, but come on over and I'll see you there. Okay? Much love to you, Twitter. Much, much love. And if you can't come over, it's okay. The link will always be there for you to catch the replay. I love you. Okay. Oh, I had to close them prematurely. Angela, see, we learn, do we not? We learn the things that are of value to you. That's where we will put our time. That's where we will put our efforts. The things that are of value. And so if you find yourself procrastinating, if you find yourself becoming unreliable, how do you fix it? Where have you put your value? It's not that you're unreliable, it's just that something else is more important. And that's why you committed to that thing instead of the other. And it shows itself as being unreliable because you don't show up on time for that thing. Your attention is just somewhere else. So you see, we always have the capacity to change. We have the capacity to change. We blink so we can put our attention somewhere else. It's that simple. It need not be complex. Lao Tzu, he said, correct your mind and your body, or your life will fall in a line. Why would he say such a thing? He would say such a thing because the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. That's why he would say it. So what did he know that we didn't? He knew that, the law of mentalism. That's why he said, correct the mind. How do you correct again? Teach it the new way to be. That is how you correct something. You check it to make sure, is this corresponding to what I say I want? No, then do the corresponding behavior. You see, it is simple. It just requires you to keep your eyes on the prize. That's all it requires. I want you to see that today. That's why if you are deliberate, you will stay focused. If you're deliberate, you will stay focused. Right? So we don't chase things. What is it you want to accomplish? The process is always going to be the same because the law is always the same. How do you know it's always the same? Well, you can even if you don't have a calendar, if you don't even know how to read the English language, so long as you gaze up at the stars, you will recognize the distance between full moon, last quarter, because it has a rhythm that it moves by, which is law. The law makes life predictable. Oh, it does, of course. The law makes things and life predictable. The fact that you can measure the distance between two things and when they occur tells you that. You know, if you're a fisherman, you know high tide and low tide. You've counted. You watched the rhythm. But we want to think that these things are so far beyond us. No. If you learn them here at eye level, now you can extrapolate as above, so below. Because if there's a rhythm here, you sleep in a rhythm, nighttime, unless you work the night shift, unless you work the night shift. But you know there's a rhythm for sleeping. Well, then there's a rhythm above you also. It is law. So you see, knowing that you you know there's a rhythm, not just in music, because you'll know when the verse starts based upon what? The rhythm. Either whether it be the bass, keeping that, whether it be the drummer, but that timing, hear it, rhythm is timing, the distance between two things. The chorus, the bridge, it, if you listen, you'll know because you'll count the changes. 4/4 time. Mm, it's the rhythm. But we think rhythm just means the beat. Uh-uh. The movement that can be counted. It is all around you. So how do you line yourself up with rhythm? Ah, you can get real practical. Go to sleep when it's dark, but you see in the summer, that's kind of tricky. But you see, your body remembers that rhythm of the sleep cycle. It does. So even if at 10 o'clock it's still bright and your bedtime is 8:45, close the blinds because your body will begin to get tired. Follow through with that. That's the rhythm. That is the rhythm. So if you say, you know what? Where else can I develop a rhythm? It's called a to-do list. And you do it the same way every day. You just developed a rhythm. You see, when things are predictable, you get peace of mind because you know how it will turn out. You have the capability of applying that to your own life. Cyber, we're coming. Don't fret, because I remember the question. So you see, keep your eyes on the prize. Now, the question was broached yesterday, the difference between the all and God. The all. Well, the all is not something you can name. Why do you call it the all then? Because everything is in. What is everything? I don't know what everything is, but everything is ensconced within that. What is the all? The all is mind. What is mind? Consciousness, awareness of self. That's the all. It's just there. It is aware of itself. How do you know? How do you know that it's aware of itself? Well, let's look at correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. If you are aware of yourself, see, Zola, she's aware of herself. I'm aware of myself. That's just here what we can see. So then there has to be something else that is also aware of itself. But you see, we can't get our minds around that part yet. Why? Because we're in these bodies. And we've been told God. Now, Lil G, that God. It's a title. It's a name. How did you learn that name? Well, it was passed down from generation to generation, but who taught them? The originals. Who taught them? You know how when your mother picks you up and she says, Mama, I'm your mama. This is your papa. You learn, I am God. You do as I tell you, or I will cast you into a pit of fire. You learn that. Those first people had to learn it from somewhere, right? The interactions that humanity has had. Because we couldn't do the things that they could do, we somehow revered them. Oh, they're magical. And then they said, ah, I am God. You're beneath me. That's how they started to treat humanity. And so the word God is a name that you gave to something you deemed that had more value than you, had the power over you. So the all, if you watch the all, how do you watch the all? You look at the laws. Look at them. What does the law tell you? The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. As within, so without. As above, so below. Everything vibrates between two poles, a swing to and fro, creating a rhythm, an ebb and a flow. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. A projection of the will or your intention, which is masculine, into your subconscious mind, feminine, giving life, giving form. That's the law. So when you look at the law, mentalism, clarity. So the all must be clear. So to be clear, you must know who you are. You must know what you are. And you're reliable, you're trustworthy. Why? As within, so without. As above, so below. Everything matches, it corresponds. It vibrates. Well, you're always moving. You're never still, you're always moving. And you're moving between what? The thing you just created and the new thing you're creating. They're the same in nature. They look like opposites, but they're not. It's just that you're moving from left to right, or you're moving backward to forward, forward to back. But either way, you are moving, and you're moving in poised opposition, just directional, back and forth, or left and right. That is what it means to be in poised opposition for polarity. Not that it's dual, it's just that it's moving and it has to move in a pattern. So if back and forth is the pattern, the rhythm will come from there. But I think we know it's cyclical, in a cycle, circular, right? And it moves. Why does it move? Because. Based upon what it wants, it moves because of that. And it brings about an effect. But for all of that to happen, you need to project your will outward into the womb. And then the womb will give you that life back. So if you see those things, you clearly can see this, whatever it is. This is, like I said, this is the part for humanity that we struggle with because of what we've learned over time. That God is a thing, a man with a big stick, and he's going to beat you. But I want you to look at the law. The law tells you what? There is a projected will, which is masculine, and the evidence of the projection, which is feminine. It gives something back to you. If you talk about little g, there's only one thing. It's a solid thing, is what it's telling you. But the all is saying to you, I am this and I do this. Period. That's the difference between the all and little g, God in the Bible. Because if you look at the laws, at no time are you encouraged to be fearful. At no time are you encouraged to cower or to beg and plead for someone else to save you. You're, the law doesn't tell you that. But Lil G does. The law does not beat you. The law does not punish, nor does it reward. It simply gives you who you are. So you better be the best. So you see, every day the law encourages you to do that. But Lil G, look at the evidence, look at the effects. This is how we use our minds to think critically. Look at the effects of Lil G. If you don't do what I tell you, I will kill you where you stand. What? Where's the evidence? Allegedly, there was a great flood. Allegedly, there was Sodom and Gomorrah. All these things, the destruction. When you listen, I can only go by the evidence presented by way of the Bible. And I grew up on that bad boy, you know? So when we look in it, when we look in those pages, what is consistent there? Does everything correspond? If it does not correspond as within, so without. Every day, listen, if you go outside and you plant something, I might not know what you have planted, but I can tell you, I can safely predict when I taste the fruit. Oh, just like if I pick up this thing that looks like an orange and I go home and I say, I wonder what juice I'll get. I can safely predict that orange juice is coming out of that orange. Surely not apple juice. So you see, the law is ever before you. It is ever before you, and it does not deceive the eye. It says, plant this, reap this, every time. So the law is reliable. But the little g hmm, threatens. The law doesn't threaten, the law just says, as you wish, that's what you are. So you'll get that back over and over again. So it's not a matter of, oh, I want to debunk Christianity. No, I don't have time for that. Look at the law, you'll have the answers. And how do you know you'll have your answers? Go outside. And even that scripture will tell you, as long as the earth remains, there'll be seed time and harvest. So you see, we only see the law here. So if the law is down here with us, as above, so below, there is law above. Well, it would have to be. It's telling you that there is. But you see, if you don't know the law, now when you want to accomplish something, you think, oh no, I've always been this way, I can't change. But the law says to you, yes, you can. Because everything moves, nothing stays the same. So, what is that thing that you want to accomplish? And you name it. And once you've named it, you've given it form. So it is yours. You follow through that, keep your eyes on it, and you'll become it. How do you know you'll become it? As within you, so must you experience. As within, so without. This is why we must get past these things that we hold on to that do not serve us. We must let them go. How do you let something go? By picking up something else. Hmm. How do you do it? You're down the grocery store aisle and you say, oh, I need more flour. Are you going to pick up the sugar? What did you say you needed? So to let go of the sugar, what must you do? Pick up the flour. It is this simple. Oh, really, Angela? So how come you're not doing it? How come everybody else is not doing it? Because we didn't know. But now that you know, right? Now that you know. So if the prize before you is to live a life of peace of mind and not pain, what will you do? Will you constantly remind yourself of the things you suffered? Well, that's not going to bring you peace of mind. However, If you want to look back and remember, look back and see that as within, so without. Just look back and see what it is. What did you learn from there? Did you learn to not trust? Oh, so that's why you don't trust people right now. Do you want to trust people? Well, then you've got to learn to trust you. Because as within, so without. How do you learn to trust you? Become reliable to yourself. If you say, okay, fine, I'm going to go to bed at this time and I'll wake up at this time, become reliable to yourself. Oh, I will brush my teeth every night at this time. Become reliable to you. I got to get there at that time. Become reliable to you. When you are reliable to yourself, you trust yourself. You have to do the behavior that corresponds with reliability. It's not woo woo, it's not magic. Magic is just a name we call for things that we don't know the law about. Cyber. Are stories of Lil G just parables for something on the Hermetic side? The verses Neville's picked for his talks are leaning more towards the idea of the all. So, what is the point of personification? Personification because we are persons. And in order to help ourselves to understand something, we have to give it a personality because then it becomes real to us. Because this is how we live our lives. Everybody has a name, things have a name. So we give them a personality. That's why. But the little g in the Bible, don't come for me, the little g in the Bible is not human. What is it? I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you it wasn't human based upon the evidence. And like I said, they are great men who've done the research to tell you and show you based upon etymology, the words. This is why I liked Eric von Daniken. I still love him. He's awesome. When he was in seminary school, if you hear him tell his story, he would always hear God had a chariot or something, or God had some kind of vehicle to travel. And he was like, wait, what? If God is omnipresent, why does he need a vehicle to travel? Oh, he got in quite a bit of trouble for that. How dare you? How dare you question? And he's like, but I'm supposed to question because it doesn't make sense. If you're God and you can be everywhere at once, why do you need a vehicle to travel? That set him down a path to learn and go through that Bible and find. He's like, well, what does the scripture mean? What is this thing that they're talking about? The wheel in the middle of the wheel. Ezekiel. And when you go back, you look at the etymology and the words, it's some kind of vehicle. So, anyway, I digress. Atomic habits. It sounds vaguely familiar to me. That's just supercharging your habits. But to go back to your question there, the idea of the all. You it is so vast. You can't give it a name because there is no name to call it other than all. All is in it. Y- y- You can't there's no words. So you just say all because all will tell you what. All is in it and it's in all. Oh, that's where we get the all in all from. So why you say the all in all, the all, and then there's us, all. We're all, not the all. So this is why you can't what's the word I want to say here? Know your place. Know your place. I know some people say I am God. Yeah, you're Lil G in your own world, but don't get it twisted. You're not the all. The all is within you. How is the all within you? By way of law. You see, I know in the KYBALION they say the all is unknowable. But me, in my personality, I say, But if you'll know a man by his habits, the all has habits. The law is the habit. It will do the same thing all the time. It'll do the same thing the same way every time. So then it must be reliable. And so if you don't know how to be, but you do know how you want to be, imitate the all. The all thinks clearly, so you think clearly. The all thinks deliberately, you think deliberately. The all says it is, then you let your yes be yes and your no be no. Mm? There's an ebb and a flow. The ebb does not mean idle. It doesn't mean still. It means building energy to flow. See, nothing stands still. So the ebb, there is still activity. There might be slower activity in the ebb, but don't get it twisted. This is why you rest. And then you get up and act because you've rejuvenated the self. It is the same thing if you keep your eyes on the prize. You see, when I tell you today that you have the capacity to change, yeah, you'll doubt me at first. But do you know why you doubt? You doubt because you already have something else there. You are already holding on to something else. This is why Neville could be so brazen as to say, the only reason why you don't have what you want is because you refuse to believe it. But you see, the thing with the law doesn't ask you to believe. The law asks you to experience so that you can know. So when you keep your eyes on the prize, you don't have to say that prize is beyond me. I can't accomplish that. What? That's not what the law tells you. The law says what? As within, so without. The law tells you polarity. What are you going to do? What steps are you going to take to move yourself from where you are to where you want to be? The law is telling you clearly you can do. Listen, you want to give the law a personality because this is what we do, right? The law is cheering you on. But don't get it twisted. It is not a personality. It does not care because it doesn't have feelings because it's not a person. It has a task. It is a law. It is immutable. You can't break them, but you can use one against the other. If you want to influence polarity, raise or lower the vibration because the thing moves. So, how does that thing move? Do you want it to move faster or slower? But it's moving. This is how, when you keep your eyes on the prize, you must know that what you are doing is not impossible. Why is it not impossible? The prize has a form. You said, this is what I want to accomplish. So if you say that's what you want to accomplish, that's the cause. Well, no, it's the effect. I lied. It's the effect because you can see it, the expression, right? Effect. So what's the cause? The steps that you will take to get there. And sometimes those steps can look, like I say, like coincidences. Neville says it looks natural. It just would have happened that way. For instance, I wanted guavas because I was at the grocery store and I smelt them, right? But they were $6.99 for one. I said, listen, I clutched my purse and I said, $7 for a guava. My father used to bring me these things for free. And I touched one and I realized it was soft. And I'm like, but they're going bad. So I didn't buy any because they had life left. But when you touch them, you're like, you grew up with them, so when the smell changes ever so slightly, you know how much time you've got left. Funny that rhythm. So I come home and I was talking to a friend and I said, I'd love to make some guava jelly. I picked up the phone and I called the produce manager over at the grocery store and I said, I notice you have guavas and they are beginning to go bad. I said, what are you going to do with those? He goes, well, I'm going to put them in the composter. I said, what if I buy them from you at a discounted price? And he said to me, how about I just give them to you? I said, oh? He said, how soon can you be here? I said, give me a half an hour. He left them at customer service. I gave him my name. And I get to customer service, and there's this big brown bag with my name on it. No charge. Angela, no charge. Let me tell you something. I made guava jelly. With 3 of those guavas, I cut the other 6 up, and they're all frozen because I will make more. It's so. Am I going to be surprised? I wanted guavas, did I not? I didn't pace back and forth and do a naked dance in the moonlight. No, your eyes on the prize. I was having a conversation, and it was just natural. It was just, and it just happened to unfold that way because, well, I'm a chatty Cathy, and I just called and I said, "Huh, I didn't I didn't think of being denied anything. I mean, I was willing to pay 99 cents for one of them. I wasn't going to go any higher than that because I know their value." Oh, but he said to me, how about I just give them to you? And I lay there before I got up and I said to myself, give them to me, shall you? I'm like, but that is what I wanted. Did I tell him to give them? No, it was always going to be in his nature because that's who he was. It was in his nature to do what he was going to do. So he did what he was going to do. No, Cyber, I did not need an imaginal act. I am the imaginer. The moment I walked into that grocery store and I smelt guava, my imaginal act was already done because I smelt guava and I said, oh, guava jelly, guava cheese, please, yes. And that's why I walked over to them. The simple fact of smelling them created the image in my mind of the snack I grew up with as a small child. That was my imaginal act. Exactly, Cyber. The smell triggered the memory. And I said, oh. So I walked over to them and I had to clutch my purse. I said, 6.99. 6.99. Look, man, I wasn't even gonna argue because 6.99 for one. And I was like, you could keep these, right? But the day after having that conversation, I said, oh, but I must. Eyes on the prize. I was like, you know what? I'll go buy them for 99 cents. I'll see if he's willing to concede for that. So you see the law, right? I'm sure he would have conceded, but he went above and beyond. The law always, you are always abundant. Well, that seems so, but what if you're living under the bridge and you don't have a home? That's the question people ask all the time. Why does it just seem to work for little insignificant things? Nothing is insignificant. So long as you are the one giving it value, then it cannot be insignificant. It cannot be little. You keep your eyes on the prize. So if you're under the bridge and you say, by golly, I need a place to live, that's what it takes for you to do. That's where you start. You know what? This will not do. I deserve more than this. I am of more value than this. What's my first step? Now, the question becomes, why are you under the bridge? That was not a coincidence. What happened? Many things happen, many causes happen. We found ourselves in transition when our landlord said, we want it for our girls. You have this amount of time. And if you know anything about our housing market out here, yikes. Oh, it took us mm, 6 months of living on an air mattress with family in their basement to find that thing. But you start with the thing that's more critical. Why am I here? Because it's polarity. Where are you now? What are you doing? What do you need to be? So if there's some kind of a habit you need to clean up, go and clean it up. Why is that important? Why is that step necessary? You see, we think, right? We think that, oh, it's going to happen by magic. No, keep moving in the direction you say you want to be. And so if you have a habit that you need to rid yourself of, go and get the assistance to do it. And now that you know the law, you can apply the law to make a new habit. And when you have those moments of detox, I have never been through detox and I am not going to. I don't wish it on anybody. I don't need to go through it to tell you that it sucks. It sucks big time. But you know what you'll know? Then you apply the law to your detox. You'll know the fact that you say, you know what? My life has to be better than this. I'm going to put in the work. You will successfully go through detox in no time at all on a much faster rate than other people have done. Why? Because you have your eyes on the prize. No habit can hold you down. The habit didn't just trip you up. You made that habit. So if you can make one habit, you can make another. So when you keep your eyes on the prize, nothing can hold you down or hold you back. Cyber, how do we reach that point of it automatically being done at our command? I have to clean my mind of the idea of requiring work, 7 days of SATs and states again to sleep, and I can finally begin to wait for what I want. Um, this is a beautiful question. It is a very beautiful question. How do you get to that point? Cyber, I'm only at that point with some things. But what I'm going to tell you today is if I can do it at point A, I can do it at point B. I can do it at point C. This is self concept. It is the self concept. It is not the thing that you're waiting for. Who is creating the thing? You are. That's what matters. How did I know when I picked up that phone? I know I have the ability to speak to anyone, anywhere, at any time. I didn't stammer when I spoke to him because I know me. I knew I was going to have those guavas one way or another. Whether I paid 99 cents for them, I was going to have them. But he was the one at the store. So I had to call him. So who called him? I did. What gave me the audacity to call? My audacity. I know who I am. It's the same thing I did when I wanted to narrate a particular book. I followed the instructions. It said, hey, text me before you call me. And I was like, okay. And I texted and I got a response. And I was like, oh, this is nice. And so something said to me, well, if you want to narrate her book, why don't you send her a voice note so she can hear what you sound like? So I did that. You see, we have the capability, but everything doesn't all happen at one time. All I was doing was what I enjoyed doing. I love baking and cooking. And shoot, that guava jelly, I wanted it. You see, that was since Sunday or Saturday. The whole house still smells like guava. It just smells like guavas. So it's not that you have to reach a point. You have to know you. You. Who are you? Because that's the person who is going out and doing things. I like when you put weight in capitals. You see, eyes on the prize doesn't mean you're waiting for it to happen. Eyes on the prize means you are walking in the direction of the unfoldment of it because, pardon me, it is already done. The minute you've said guava jelly, I already had it. How? I didn't know how, but I knew the first thing to do was to call. I can't walk in the store and just negotiate. I mean, mind you, I could have, I'm sure. But that was the route I took. I took the route that is most natural to me. This is how it's automatic. You take the route that is most natural to you, that keeps your eyes on that prize. Does that make sense, Cyber? That's why when you see these words, right? Automatically. What does automatic mean? You're doing what you've always done. That's why it's auto. You're doing what you've always done. That's why you do the thing that you've always done. You don't have to go out there and change to be something else. If you are really good with visualization and you can sketch it out or whatever the case may be, that's automatic for you. Do that. Me, mine is talking. You guys get to see that every day, hear it every day. But you see what I'm saying? You do what is automatic for you, what is natural for you. Do that. But to know what's automatic for you, you have to know you. Let me know, Cyber, if that makes sense. So that when you keep your eyes on the prize, do what is natural for you. Period. You have to do what's natural for you. That's why it takes on the tones of reality, because you're doing what happens naturally. Because it's supposed to happen naturally. It is cause and effect. Because you do this, the effect will be this. Naturally, with ease, without any effort. It's not a place to get to, it is a knowing. A knowing of who? You. So that when you call those things that are not as though they were, they become. What about the planting the seed aspect? The minute I walked in the store, Cyber, and I smelt guava, the seed was planted. I didn't know because I go to that store every day. They didn't have guavas. No, when I was there, because perhaps I didn't go down the produce aisle that time. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is when I smelt them, it triggered a memory. Oh, and they taste so good. The cheese is just a candy. You cook it down until it solidifies, and when you cut into a block of like actual like cheese, you can cube it like that and roll it in sugar. Hallelujah. Right? See what I mean? I smelt it and the memory was triggered. The seed was planted. Now, if I didn't care and I didn't want them, the seed would still have been planted, but without my attention, nothing would have happened. You have to water the seed. You have to give it your attention, right? That's what happened. I did just leave it there because I was like, whatever. But after speaking to that friend, I was inspired. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do this. We look for the extraordinary events, but there aren't any. It just happens naturally. Like sex. It just happens naturally. I can't believe I just said that. It happens naturally. You're not going out of your way to do something. All you're doing, right? See, this is what happens when we get caught up in the manifestation world. I want you to feel that today. When we get caught up in the manifestation world, we get caught up in a technique, and the technique blinds the eye because that's all you're focused on. And when you're so focused on the technique, how can you be naturally you? You've got to be naturally you. You are already manifesting naturally. Manifesting is an effect because you've already done something. It happens naturally. It is not magic. You are already doing it. So when I say keep your eyes on the prize, pay attention. What do you say you're looking for? That's why I tell you every day, who are you? You're looking for a new job. What kind of job? Well, anything will do. And then you get anything and you're like, oh, I'm unhappy with that. Take the time to be deliberate about what it is you say you want to experience. So if you say, I need a job or I need more money coming in, what are you good at? What do you do naturally? What is it? And something happens from there. You do a cause, you say, oh, you know what? I'm really good at this. I'm really good at this. And you name that thing you're good at. And then something happens. Either you are scrolling, you see something that catches your eye, or and you go and you apply, or you hear about something, or somebody calls you. Things happen naturally by way of law, cause and effect. Right? Cause and effect. If I had never had guavas in my whole life and I smelt that smell, I would not know what it was. I'm like, oh, there's an interesting smell. But I wouldn't have known what it was coming from because I have no memory of it. Naturally. It just so happens that I grew up in the Caribbean with guava trees. Same for passion fruits. So you see, do what is natural to you. Does that make sense? I'm reading here, Cyber. Um, but what about the planting the seed aspect? I'm almost tempted to say the seed is already there. It is your attention to it that will bring it to life. How do you know what to pursue if you don't like your prize then? How do you know what your prize is? You must have experienced that somewhere in your life to say, you know what, I'd like to do that. And then you give it your value by giving it your attention. It is already there within you. Let me know, Cyber. But I trust that made sense to you today. Andrea, darling, good morning. You keep your eyes on the prize. It is your desire, it is your value. Where we get sidetracked is if we look at the thing we deem valuable and then we say, you know what? This is so insignificant. Look at how big theirs is, or look at how much more value theirs has. That's the problem when we begin to compare ourselves with other people. Then we stop doing what comes naturally. You ever hear somebody say, I got this modeling contract because I was just in the grocery store or I was just walking down the street and somebody, this guy or whoever, this record, don't do that nowadays. But, that was back in the day. Today, a little sketchy. But, and they say, that's how I got my modeling contract. Like the chick in Bridgerton. She'd never acted in anything before. And she got to play Lady Danbury because that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to act. So she got an agent and she started to do auditions. And this one came up and it met what she was looking for. You and I looking at that would say, she was so lucky. She was doing what came naturally. Her parents were like, go to school. So she went to school. She was working in a butcher shop when she got the call that she got the part. She was just working. But she did what came naturally. She wanted to act. The seed was already planted from somewhere in her childhood of wanting to act. And that's how she went from nobody knew who she was to bam, one of the biggest shows on the planet. And you're like, what? Do what comes naturally. Her eye was on the prize. So this is why she auditioned all the time, every opportunity she got, because her eyes were on the prize. Yeah, she went to school because you know how it is with your parents, right? So she went to school anyway. But never once did she lose sight of the prize. Her parents were like, yeah, we know it's important to you, but what if it doesn't work out? Have a plan B. So she says, fine, mother, I will do a plan B. So she went to school for something she enjoyed, right? But she also got an agent because you're the one who has to give your prize value. Yes, cyber, to desire is to have. The minute that desire is there, you created it. You created the thing. And now it has to blossom, it has to unfold. But you have to walk in the direction of it. You have to give it your attention so it unfolds. Your attention is dirt, water. God, I feel like the airbender. Earth, wind, fire, water. Like, that's what your attention does. Really, David? I'll save you some. Some guava jam. But does that make sense? Do the things that come naturally to you. You are naturally good at them. And you learned how to be good at them back in the day. So if you have intuition that is off the Richter scale, start using it. If you have the ability to speak to people, start using it. You notice how it's for the betterment of yourself and everybody else, right? There's a difference. If you learned how to, dare I say, manipulate, to bend people to your will, learn to bend situations, I suppose, as opposed to people. Don't trample on somebody else's free will. Mm? You didn't like yours trampled on, so don't trample on somebody else's. Right? But glass house. I understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. Do what comes naturally to you, and your eyes on that prize. You will not diminish it. Does this does this make sense at all today? Let me know. So keep your eyes on the prize today. Just keep your eyes on the prize. It is your prize. It is your desire. You're giving it to you. You're giving it to you. You don't you don't just throw it away because you think it is unattainable. What is it? Why do you want to do it? If you know why, you know what they tell you, you got to know your why. Why do you want to do a thing? We have many tools. Like I've told you many times, I did stop singing and I stopped speaking. Why? Because nobody listened anyway. That's what I told myself for so many years. Can you imagine if I had followed through with that and never spoke again because that was always on my report card, talks too much and asks too many questions? That's why I tell you there's things that you've learned how to do. You had to learn how to do them. Like my memory on point. Why? Because I had to. I could not read at the age of 3, not to my knowledge at least. But I loved music because my grandmother sang all the time. So she taught me the words. So I had to remember them. So now I use the skill that I have of retention and recalling information. You see, you have those things within you also. Use those things that you have developed in your life that seem trivial. Oh, so you can play the tambourine. What good is that? I know rhythm, right? I know how to write a song. I know harmonies. To what purpose? Sooner or later, the purpose will show itself, depending on what I choose. The skill will come up. It's just like I love to bake bread. Oh, please. Why is that necessary? That's what I'm trying to tell you. You have skills already that you are not using. Whatever that prize or that goal is that you want to accomplish, go through your Rolodex, go through your life. What skills do you have that you can naturally apply? That is what the manifestation community does not tell you, because that's not what they're about. I shouldn't say that. I can only tell you what I am about. I cannot speak for them. Use the gifts that you've been given, the things that you've learned in your life. Use them because they're not trivial. They're not irrelevant. They only become relevant when you need them, which is what is it that you want to accomplish? When you know what you want, all the pieces come together. You begin, oh snap, I know how to do that. You're great at organizing people. What? Now you begin to use that skill that lay dormant for so long. And this is why when you hear somebody say, I don't have any talents, because you're busy looking at George's talents. Look at your own. You have them. That's your encouragement today. When you keep your eyes on the prize, you have certain skills, my friends, my beautiful friends. You have skills. Allow them to surface. The right one will surface at the time based upon what it is you're doing, what it is you want to accomplish. That's what will determine the skill required, cause and effect. Everything flows naturally by way of law. Let me know if this is making sense for you today, because I want to encourage you to know that you are capable of so much more. And I'm not saying more as more for things. It's not about things, it's about you. There can be no things without you. Does that, does that make sense? There can be no things without you. You are the creator of the thing. You are the creator of the thing. That desire. So today, my beautiful friends, keep your eyes on the prize. Oh, Cyber dropping. Hold on, Cyber, hang on. Romans 12:6. In his grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. Okay, then. Romans 12:6. 6 plus 2 is 8, and 1 is 9. Look at that. In his grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things. That's a little g. It's okay. Law. Look at the law. Replace God with the law. Because that's what it is. You got the gift as a result of something else. Cause and effect. It is law. 1 Peter 4:10-11. Each of you has received the gift to use to serve others. Be good servants of God's various gifts of grace. Again, law. You see it? Each of you has received a gift to use to serve others. Well, how do you serve others? By serving the self. Uh, uh, what? Yes. When you serve you, cause and effect. You think it stays with just you? No. It is projected outward into the world. This is why when you project into the world, be the best. That was our primary school motto. Nothing but the best is the best. St. David's Primary, right? Nothing but the best is the best. So if you raise yourself up to that level of the best of who you are and the best of what you can do, well, then you're going to be giving the best. Well, you're giving the best to you, but it doesn't stop there. Every effect has a cause, a ripple effect out into the world. So That prize that you're looking at, that prize that you are looking at is attainable. It is yours. You have the skills to get you there. And those skills will lead you where you need to be. That's why a man's gifts make room for him and brings him before great men. That's why you will come into contact with all of the components necessary to put that prize together because it is already there. Where is it? It is projected outward. And so all the necessary components come together to give it form. But without the image, without knowing what you want, how can you give it form? Okay, that's good, right? I trust you understand. If you don't, slide into my DMs. Today at 3:30, what do we got going on? Law school. So for those of you who are there, mm, we have that at 3:30 p.m. today. So make sure to get your questions in. Hit me up in Linktree and send me an email with your questions because we're going to go live to answer these questions about that because we're learning the law. Yes? Read it and you speak it out loud because it does something to you. And whatever you don't understand, you write it down and we will examine it by way of law. This is the beauty of what we have. You have gifts. Don't try finding them all. That would be tiresome. You know how the gift comes? Choose the prize. And the gift that matches that why, because as within, so without. The gift that matches that prize will rise to the surface and you will use it. That's what it is. Cause and effect. That's why you can't just go looking for it and go, oh, what do I have here? What do I have there? Cause and effect. Can't override it. So choose the prize and the gift will emerge to match it. It will correspond so you'll know what to do. You are always in the know. Nothing is ever hidden from you. By way of law, you see everything. Anywho, I love you all. And that really was the rest of the gravy from the bowl today. um, the 3:30, today at 3:30 for those in law school. Andrea, what I would like you to do, please, in my link tree, send me an email. Send me an email, and I'll provide you with the link for law school so that you will know what to do. Right? Just email me and I'll provide you with the information, with the link for it. But that's what it is, my beautiful friends. You have a desire, you've created that thing. It's there, it's got form. Follow the inclination that naturally comes, and that is how you keep your eyes on the prize. Countdown initiated. Oh, 5, 4, 3. Oh, and for those of you, because we're having a retreat in 2024 in the fall, perhaps. Um, there are a number of places that are coming up. I'll post the ones when they get back to me. I'll know all the information, how many people, what the price is, travel requirements, so on and so forth. But that's coming up in the fall of 2024. We're going to go to Barbados and we're going to have a great time, right? We're going to have a great time. And that just came about because we were having one of these conversations. Somebody suggested it, and I was like, "Oh snap, that'd be awesome." A retreat cyber, yes, yeah. So we voted, and it's Barbados, and so as soon as I hear back from the consulate, I will know more, and then I'll have you guys vote on the duration. Do you want to go a week? Do you want to go 10 days? Pfft, I'll have you vote. Don't fret. All the information is coming. Cyber, that is a great idea to visit the final resting place of Neville Goddard. Why not? We're going to Barbados, right? Shoot, Cyber, we are already in Barbados. Hey, the minute that person suggested the idea, because they saw it, everything started to fall into place. Sonia, she has been a phenomenal help. And I also know that Summer Rose has got her ideas. So if you have an idea about what it is, because it's an event that you're planning, if that's one of your skills, bring it to the surface. Send a suggestion. Right? Does that make sense to you? So I'm looking forward to doing it and getting some sand between my toes and the sun on my skin. Hallelujah. I am looking forward to that. And like I say, send an email if you've got ideas about this. I've never done it before, but we're going to learn together, aren't we? This is where people now, their skills come out. Hmm? So all these things are going on. All these things are going on. So, I mean, if you still want to be a part of law school, the link is there in my link tree. And that's today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. Tonight at 9:45, we are going to hit the bowl, the Tibetan bowl. And we're going to have a good time. So I don't want to keep you any longer because, I mean, you guys have been so patient. Thank you for being here today. It is appreciated. 2, 1. See, that's what it is, isn't it? I love you all. I do. So, oh, Joyce. Hello. Triple S. Kimmy. Hi. Smoking. Flo Smiles. KZ. Miss McQueen. Yolanda. Zola. I miss my summer rose. Right? Thank you for being here on Fanbase. It is truly appreciated. And the love that you give every day. Thank you so very much. And again, if you have questions, slide into my DMs. We'll chat about that. And I'll see you soon. Fanbase, I love you. Much love. Fanbase is closed. So, just us. um, yeah, that's it. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. So, Cyber, Andrea, David, Master Glam, Sherelle, Asonia, the better man, A not. Thank you all for being here today. Remember, help that algorithm out. Like, share it if you feel so inclined. Leave a comment if you feel so inclined under the video after the live stream is over. And yes, let's see. Zola and Sugar Visions are here. Hey, hey, hey. I see you. I see you. You're welcome, Sherelle. You're welcome. Yeah. So that's it, y'all. I'm going to go and do some auditions. And because if I go and I lay down or I go and help my boy, I'll get distracted. So I'll do some auditions first and get those out of the way. Right? I got to work, but I'm doing what I love. So it's a pleasure to do it. So remember, keep your eyes on the prize and the skills that are required for that prize. Cause and effect will materialize and you'll use them. I love you all. One. Much love.